Keeping cows and the associated mass production of dairy products have an image problem. The animals are responsible for a large proportion of harmful climate gases, and dairy products are still frequently transported across half of Germany. These three green heroes want to change that, and these are their solutions. A floating cowshed that shortens transport routes and still works even when sea levels rise. A cow toilet that protects the climate. And a wellness farm for dairy cows that prolongs their life. We are in the port of Rotterdam to meet Minke van Wingerden. The civil engineer has built the world's first floating cowshed. With this idea, she wants to bring the farm to the city, shorten transport routes, save carbon dioxide and establish a circular economy.
On the water you're mostly near to cities, so this project is about future farming, future food systems, but it's also about reconnecting citizens with food production again.
But this floating farm is also a modern response to rising sea levels and a way of helping to save agricultural land.
Yeah, the world population is growing and the amount of arable land is decreasing. So it's important to look after possibilities, how can we produce more healthy food in a different way. So we use the water for it, and 70% of the world is water. So this is our pilot project to show the world that we can do it.
The floating farm is an almost self-sufficient operation. The floating solar panel field next door supplies the energy. The cow's water is purified rainwater. The feed is reprocessed waste from the city.
For example, we have a few small beer breweries over here. And up to now, the beer broth, the residual product, they send it away with a truck and it's going to be burned. But now we collect it and we feed it to our cows and they upcycle it to milk. But we also use the grass from the soccer field. And that's important because it's not only about the amount of grass, but it's also about reconnecting the citizens again.
The floating farm has 3 floors, the cowshed on top, milk production underneath, and below the waterline, manure and urine are separated and stored. Since May 2019, 34 cows have been living on the pontoon, providing around 800 litres of milk a day, as much as in a normal cowshed.
This is our milk tank, and what we see, the black pipe is connected with a milking robot. So it comes immediately down to our milk tank. Yeah, we are producing pasteurized milk, yogurt, different kinds of yogurt, but also butter and buttermilk.
Okay.
So, and we sell it in the city. We sell it to restaurants, but also to retailers.
Of course, there were concerns and objections to this type of enclosure. Not animal-friendly because it's on the water. The cows would get seasick, the milk wouldn't taste good, but Minke was able to prove them all wrong.
Good morning, cows. How are you, ladies? As you can see, the cows are so relaxed and they are so used to all the visitors. They are curious and they are doing so well. And that's the most important thing because, yes, they have to be okay.
The farm is fully automated. There are feeding robots, cleaning robots and a milking robot. The cows go to the machine independently and allow themselves to be milked. Thanks to the sustainable production under one roof and the short transport routes, the floating farm saves carbon dioxide with every litre of milk. How much is currently being scientifically investigated. The concept is so innovative that Minke has visitors from all over the world.
We are talking to China and all different kind of countries in Asia. And for example, Singapore, it imports 90% of all their food. And yeah, it's surrounded by water, so why not a floating farm?
On to the next green hero. We meet him in the small town of Groenlo in the Netherlands, less than 5 kilometers from the German border. Chris Bomers wanted to give his cows a more species-appropriate life, and the result is the world's first cow garden. It doesn't look much like a stable here, more like a spa for cows. The animals stroll relaxed around the open spaces. Those who feel like it chill a bit on the cosy ground. Trees and bushes have been planted everywhere. The idea came from one of Chris's friends. She thought, why have a cowshed just like a normal cowshed with lots of iron and concrete? What about nature? The result of this idea is a barn that looks like a forest. This doesn't only look really good, but also corresponds to the animal's natural way of life. Cows naturally want to go out to pasture, but then they retreat back into a protected environment. They just quickly eat a lot of fresh grass in the open pasture, but then they actually go back into the forest. The concept is so unique that it was difficult to get permission for it, but for the animals, it is a genuine paradise. They can go outside, they can go inside, whatever they want. And that's also the most important thing for me, that the animal can do what it wants. Chris shows us the other part of his barn, which has not yet been converted into a cow garden. This so-called lying barn is also animal-friendly, but still has some disadvantages. The hooves are always on concrete, in a damp environment, and there's more moisture here on the left and right. And that's the big difference between the organic soil in the cow garden and the concrete floor, which is always damp. In the cow garden, the organic soil material works in principle like cat litter. Urine and feces clump together, and the litter can then be easily sieved through with a newly developed machine. The result is a soft and dry floor on which the cows like to lie, and their claws no longer become inflamed. Since the conversion to the cow garden in 2018, the cow's health has steadily improved. There are far fewer diseases, and the animals clearly feel very well. But is it also worth it financially? Do they provide more milk? They don't provide more milk per lactation, but because the well-being of the cows is better, the cow gets older, and the older the cow gets, the more milk it provides in its lifetime. And that's what farmers want. And then we hope that the cow gets as old as possible, and that's the giant step forward that we've taken here with the cow garden. On average, the cows in the cow garden live 1.5 to 2 years longer. Measured against the average lifespan of 5 years for a high-performance dairy cow, this is a great success for both humans and animals. The next green hero is also in the Netherlands, a good hour's drive from the floating farm. Jochen Tolkamp is working to reduce harmful greenhouse gases in the cowshed. His solution? A toilet for cows. Yes, that's right, cows that go to the toilet and even form an orderly queue. We have a few questions about this, but why would a cow lavatory be any use at all? The basic problem is that agricultural emissions contribute significantly to climate change. Livestock farming is responsible for producing a large proportion of the climate killers methane and nitrous oxide. Another big problem is ammonia, which is produced when urine and feces react with each other on the cowshed floor. When ammonia evaporates, it can convert into nitrous oxide, a climate killer 300 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. It also forms fine dust in the air and is harmful to health. That's why Germany has committed to reducing ammonia emissions by 29% by 2030. The solution is to separate feces and urine beforehand if possible and prevent the formation of manure in the first place. This is where the cow toilet comes in. But how does it work? The cows come in here, and when you stroke certain nerves, they have a reflex that triggers the need to urinate. We've mechanized this. The cow toilet looks for these nerves, strokes them, and then the cow urinates. It works amazingly well. With 150 animals, that's quite a considerable amount. A cow urinates about 25 litres a day, and we can collect about half of that. She has to urinate about 5 times a day, but we try to make the cow come more often. Not every attempt is successful because the cow may have already urinated in the meadow. By 2030, farmers in the Netherlands even have to reduce the amount of ammonia per cow by half. But with the cow toilet, this is easily possible. But why do the cows go to the toilet voluntarily? Because they're conditioned to do so with feed. This cow has had her portion of feed, and now the machine starts stroking her between the udder and the vulva looking for the nerve. This nerve then makes the cow think, I need to pee. A light system indicates whether the toilet visit was successful. The urine is pumped out and stored in a large silo. It can be immediately spread on the field as an organic fertilizer. The cow toilet reduces ammonia by almost half. Instead of 13 kilos per cow per year, it's now only 7 kilos. These 3 green heroes show that animal welfare and climate protection can also work in agriculture. And for the farmers, it even pays off economically too.